name is Edna Kyei-Quayson, and I am a licensed graduate professional counselor with Lartey Wellness Group. I came from a traumatic marriage that ended, and it really broke me down. And I went to therapy maybe consistently for like 2 years, and it really helped me out a lot. And it made me realize that essence or the importance of getting counseling premarital to begin with, right? And then consistently throughout the marriage, and just individually, if you have concerns, to really resolve those individual problems, issues, concerns before you become a couple. And so I really got into it. So I want to work with more couples, but also individuals, to help them really work on themselves before they jump into getting married. Interested with Lartey Wellness Group. When I looked over their site and realized that they just saw a lot of different populational demographics of people, and that the issues and concerns was so varied, I was very interested, because my internship was a different background. It was more substance abuse, use, some severe mental health disorders, and then some more mild, like anxiety, a little bit of depression, mild or moderate. And I wanted to get more of an expansive knowledge of different issues within mental health. So I was excited to come on board. I work part-time, so I'm 4 days on with 1 day off. I start about midday and go through sometimes early evening, sometimes late evening. I see maybe roughly somewhere between 5 to 6 clients per my work day, with some breaks in between. Sometimes due to scheduling based on my clients, I don't have any breaks. Sometimes I'm allotted to have some breaks. But it's it varies at times from week to week based on people's preferences, but generally around 5 to 6 per each work day. So I guess what I would say is, through internship and everything else, my main goal is always to be flexible and open. I might have, yes, a plan for the session, but I always go in knowing that could really get thrown out the window based on what kind of crisis or whatever the issue or concern the client has. So my main thing is be flexible. So I go in with that mindset. If nothing is of urgency, I then stick with what I've planned for that particular session and that client based on the treatment plan. If it's something that's crisis and it warrants, just setting everything aside and focusing on the issue at hand, I'm more than happy to do so. So the main thing for me is being flexible and moving. As much as we do have a schedule, an agenda of sorts, I try to move with the client so it's at an okay pace. They don't feel rushed or feel like some sort of pressure, because they're already coming in. There's some sort of pressure on them for them to come into counseling. So I don't want to add on to it, if that makes sense. Yeah. Work with individuals and want to work with more couples at some point. I've had some experience working with couples, and I want to do more individual as well as premarital, and then actually marital marriage counseling as well. So overall relationships, in the broader sense, relationships. I typically have worked with people above age 21. And the oldest person I've seen was, I want to say, late 80s. So I've gone, yeah, from 21 to about maybe he was 88, 89. Like, so anywhere between that is fine with me. My boss, I would say, because I've been in situations where, yes, it is a business at the end of the day, right? But there has to be a sense of our humanness felt within that. And I know we're in a pandemic and just things are more chaotic than what they used to be. But just that sense of I get that sense of there's care and concern amidst all the different administrative stuff we have to take care of. I get that team, that camaraderie with my other colleagues. If there's a question, you send a message, we get to connect. And then we have those weekly meetings as well, which is very helpful. You get to know what's going on. You're not in the dark about what's happening. And so I like that because we're virtual, which is fine by me. I'm an introvert. So I really like the virtual atmosphere because I'm so introverted. But yeah, just that sense of a unit, even though we are in different places and maybe even different states or what have you, or, countries for that matter. So I like that he makes us feel connected despite, how dispersed we are. I would say, first up, I would recommend psychology today. There are a few others, but I would say that because it allows you to filter specifically for what you're looking for. So if you're dealing with anxiety, you want someone who specializes, or a clinician who specializes in anxiety, you're able to filter out what you want and what you don't want. Even down to faith, you can make a selection on that as well, your insurance. So assess what your needs are first and foremost. What are you going in for? Think about, say, your top 3 concerns or goals you want to work on, right? So when you go in looking for who's a good counselor that might fit for me, with those goals in mind, you look specifically for someone who can help you in those areas, because it's your money, it's your time, right? So to make the best out of it, do that first before you start searching for people. Have an idea what it is you want to work on as much as you can. If even it's more of a broad list, once you get a counselor, you can narrow it down. So start there from psychology today. I would say it's become Criminal Minds. Yeah, it's become, because I like the investigative piece, then also the mental health part of it, and just I want to know more about why we do what we do. And at times, of course, in Criminal Minds, the cases can be severe disorders, and there's a serial killer loose, but it just lets us know that we're human, right? We're all flawed in some sense. And so it helps us, at least it helps me to realize there's no perfect person. We all need help in some shape or form. And it's intriguing. I want to know why they're doing what they're doing. And if I also get to face a client who has something similar, I'm able to also help them, right? So I would say Criminal Minds would be one of my new favorite television shows. I originate from Ghana, so I'm Ghanaian American, and so it will be jollof rice. So for those who have some knowledge about African food, it's rice and it's made with tomatoes, and it's one of the best things. I feel like I can eat it every day. And as much as that starch and carbs, it's just one of my go-tos. So that would be my favorite food. I would say Italy. Um, I haven't been there yet. I do want to go. My background is art, so I want to see a lot of different sites. And just, I also like architecture. So to be able to take a look at some of the old buildings would be amazing. And I like Italian food too as well. So that would be great to taste authentic Italian food. Um, and listen, I like to explore other um, ethnicities. So just to listen to other kinds of music, meet different people with different experiences. Granted, I don't speak Italian, so I would have to work on that some. So I could just at least get, be able to communicate a little, somewhat, and understand a little bit about their culture because I appreciate meeting people from different cultures. So I want to do a missions trip. I'm not sure what nation, but I would say maybe Kenya, maybe. So yeah, that would be one thing. And then granted, all of this pandemic has died down, makes traveling easier, being able to, really go and be hands-on with whatever church that I'm serving with, because my church home does mission trips almost annually, but due to the pandemic, that has changed. So once, I hope in 5 years' time, things will look a lot different, things will be under control, and so I can serve some of the Kenyan people. Yeah. Say, looking at it, I would say adverse childhood experiences, because people come in and it shaped them so greatly, especially if it was traumatic. And it really impacts how you have relationships, whether romantic or not. Your experiences can really shape how you form friends or don't form friends, how you even approach decisions in life in general. So I would say adverse childhood experiences, being able to get in and intervene at some point before um, situations get worse. So it's kind of complicated with that. But yeah, if there could be some kind of interception made before people are fully adults, and they're in full control of their prefrontal cortex, right? Where they can make those kinds of decisions that sends them down a certain path of life, that would be nice. So that is mine, one thing.